Time for the mailbag. If you have questions, you can email them to me, thesolomonster@gmail.com. We have 2 audio questions to start with here. And always, please remember, no matter what kind of question you send in, please include your name and where you are from. This audio question comes from Wes out of Fort Lewis, Washington.
Hey, Solomonster. I've been listening to your show for like 2 years now. It got me through a deployment, and I really appreciate what you do. Anyways, Lucha Underground is a great show as well as a good wrestling event. In addition to possible pay-per-views in the future, what other things could you say would help the product gain more exposure to possibly provide, that marketable alternative to what WWE and TNA offers? Appreciate it.
I think in terms of what they could do to really break out and build their audience and make them unique from WWE and TNA, the key is, first of all, just keep putting out the product that you're putting out. They obviously have their storyline set. They've got, I think it was like a 39-week run that the show is set for, so they've got plenty of time to build these stories, to build these characters. Keep, explaining to us who these people are. Keep doing the personality profiles, however goofy they may sometimes be, like the stuff with Mil Muertes and the Earthquake. I appreciated what they did there because we have a reason to care about the guy, and we know what makes him tick. We know why he is the way he is. Keep doing that, because that's something WWE and TNA do not do enough of. They just don't, and I don't know why they don't. It would be very easy for them to do so, and more often than not, they're lacking in that department. So keep filling the gaps where WWE and TNA are leaving gaping holes. You can fill in those gaps by giving us what they're not. And that will go a long way to, I think, keeping Lucha Underground as this true alternative to WWE and TNA. Plus, the way it's shot, just their whole approach to the show is just very different. That's good. That's a good thing. So just keep doing that. I think the key is going to be advertising and promotion. I mean, you're on El Rey. El Rey is not a network that is watched yet by very many people. So anything that you can do, if you've got the full support of El Rey behind you, and Robert Rodriguez, I mean, they got some heavy hitters behind this thing. If you really want to get the word out there, you've got to do it through marketing and advertising and promotion, whatever form that may take, whether it's billboards, whether it's online ads, print ads, trying to get some of these guys out there maybe on the talk show circuit, even if it's just Spanish language shows. Anything that you can do to make it more mainstream. I know the word underground is in the name of the promotion. It's supposed to be an underground promotion. But the only way you're ever going to grow the audience is if more people know about it. And I feel like there probably are a lot of wrestling fans out there who don't know about it, who might give it a shot. And also, it may appeal to people who aren't wrestling fans right now, because they know what WWE is. They could put USA on anytime on a Monday night and see the shit that they're, spoon-feeding us. And they don't like it because they don't watch it, but maybe if they watch Lucha Underground, it's different enough where they might look at it and go, wow, it's shot like a movie, and it's just so different. It feels different, and it feels kind of gritty, and I like that. And you're only going to be able to do that by making people aware of it. And like I said, advertising and promotion is key. It's one of the things that's been a death knell in a lot of ways for TNA. And Lucha Underground can't fall into that same trap, and they don't have that excuse of, well, we don't have the money. It looks like they've got the money behind it, where they could definitely be promoting it the way it should be promoted. The other thing they could do, and this may not necessarily differentiate them from WWE and TNA, this might kind of go in the opposite direction, but I do think it's important that they bring in a few key names, and it sounds like they're going to do that in 2015. It sounds like Alberto Del Rio is all but in. They've already dropped some references to him as El Patron, the boss, right, on the show. So I think it's a given that he's on his way in. And he'll probably thrive in that environment. I think he'll be really over. He could be one of the top stars there. Rey Mysterio, I think there's also a pretty good chance he may end up in Lucha Underground later in 2015. And to the people who would say, well, he's old and he's washed up and he's injury prone, so why would Rey going to Lucha Underground mean anything? Whether Rey is wrestling every week or not, and I would not have him wrestling every single week. I would have him wrestle special matches every now and then against some of the other Lucha guys, and maybe a John Morrison, maybe a Del Rio. But he could be such a great ambassador for that brand, because Rey is still beloved by a lot of fans. He's got a lot of fans out there. He sells merchandise. So I don't know what Lucha Underground's plans are going forward, for example, in terms of merchandise or putting out some kind of DVD releases. Those are other things that they also need to look into because that could be a revenue stream for them. As we get to learn more about these characters like Sexy Star, you probably have a lot of fans out there, female fans, who would love to wear a Sexy Star shirt, or who become big fans of Prince Puma. The merchandise possibilities with a guy like that or a Morrison are endless. And you bring in a guy like Rey Mysterio, you could absolutely make a ton of money off him by putting out Rey Mysterio merchandise. He could be the guy that you send out there to be interviewed in the media to talk about what a great brand this is. I came from WWE. I came from the biggest company in the world because I didn't want to be there anymore. I wanted to be here. Lucha Underground is where it's at. And that's where having a guy like a Del Rio and a Rey Mysterio becomes so important. They have to bring in some big names like that. Don't saturate the promotion with ex-WWE guys, but bring in a few names that might help move the needle a little bit and will give some credibility and legitimacy to the promotion, where if a casual fan stumbles upon it, they see a Rey Mysterio, they know who he is, all of a sudden they put the remote down, they watch some of this, and they're blown away by the next match between Phoenix and Prince Puma, right? That's where it becomes so important to have those guys in the fold. So I think if they do a combination of those things, and if the guys behind the show, the backers, are committed to it, even if the ratings are on the small side, hopefully they give it time to grow, and they don't pull the plug, and the network, decides to pull the plug. I don't think that's going to happen. It sounds like the people who are behind this project are behind it for the long haul, and I hope they are, because it's going to take time, but those are the things that they need to do, I think, in 2015 that will help get them to that next level.